Welcome back to the Sports by Schmucks podcast. We're at the Silver Anniversary Edition, number 25 of this humble podcast, and it is only fitting that we celebrate this 25th anniversary with, I'm pretty sure, the most consistent guest in the podcast history. You're in like at least 20, you're in at least 97% of them.
Yeah, everything except for the one where I was in Tampa.
Yeah, exactly.
And so, just talk about soccer, so I wouldn't have been there anyways.
Well, you would have been there in spirit.
Yeah.
Like, you would have been connected, you just wouldn't have been doing anything.
Pretty much.
So yeah, 25 episodes, and whoever listens to this, thank you. Anyways, we'll jump right into it. No need to sing like in our pre-draft meeting that we thought about. Anyways, speaking of draft, because I said the word draft instead of podcast, let's talk about the NFL draft.
Segue.
Well, I had nothing to work with because I boxed myself into a corner. But I kind of thought you would be hounding me to get a draft podcast done, you know.
I should have been, but realized things got in the way, and once they got in the way, it came up, and busyness and TFC games. Well, soccer is really fun to go watch live.
Yes, I imagine it would be. So let's talk about the draft. You had the first two picks right.
Yep.
So congratulations.
Thank you.
And then it kind of went. We won't talk about it.
Who thought Blake Bortles was going to go through the Jaguars?
Well, you didn't. That's for sure.
A lot of people didn't.
Well, it was kind of funny to see him go third overall, and then Gruden just kind of freak out. That was kind of funny.
I was watching NFL Network, and yeah.
Well,
it was not well received.
Then you missed John Gruden try to sell Johnny Manziel to pretty much every single team that was up on the podium.
Well, I think I watched a little bit, and that was pretty much every single pick. You need a quarterback, Johnny Manziel.
Oh, even if teams didn't need a quarterback.
You trade your starting quarterback, Johnny Manziel.
Well, he kind of thought, like, maybe you could, have Johnny Manziel on your team because he's a great football player. But, so yeah, you predicted there'd be a trade early in the first round, and Buffalo stepped up to the plate.
Yeah.
By trading up to get Sammy Watkins.
Good trade for them.
I do agree. I think it's going to be a high-risk, high-reward trade, depending on the Bills' seasons, of course, because they give up next year's first.
Which I'm hoping is a late-round pick. Exactly,
and if this offense, which they've set up, pans out, I mean, it's not conceivable for them to be 8-8.
Oh, if not easily better than that.
Yeah. I'm selling low here. I'm selling low.
You're a typical Buffalo fan.
They've hurt me too many times. Too many times.
I know. But, I don't know, the Buffalo Bills had a good draft. Like, getting Watkins in the first. Like, they didn't really give up too much for him this year. Like, next year, your draft's going to be a little thin, but... Yeah,
next year won't be a fun draft for me.
And then getting Cyrus, I'm going to just butcher this name.
The Alabama offensive lineman.
Yeah.
It's all right. Don't even bother.
I know.
You've just embarrassed yourself.
I know. But he has a lot of potential on the line, like especially playing right tackle across from Cordy Glenn. That's two big mother effers on the tackles positions.
No, I am happy with the Bills draft.
And then getting Henderson in the last round, if he can get his potential and shit together, that could be a pretty damn good steal. But that's if you can get him going.
Yeah.
And Richardson, you just improved your offensive line, which was okay, but with the wide receiver Watkins, your offensive line getting better. If Manuel can stay healthy, you have the second best running game in the NFL. And defense is solid. That's
the biggest thing is Manuel staying healthy.
Yeah.
Because we saw the revolving door of quarterbacks that
Jeff
the Bills. Jeff Toole. Who's the other guy?
Oh, does it matter?
No, it doesn't. I hope I never see him again. So yeah, that's the thing is they have so much history with injuries that I don't want to get too excited for this, if you know what I mean. Because if they blow it somehow because of injuries, that first round pick next year is gonna look really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just gotta have faith.
I know. But you liked your team's draft, if I remember correctly.
I did. Also, I got the Jake Matthews, Mike Evans picked right, so that's another. So I got 4 of the top 10 picks right.
Well, 4 out of the top 10, is...
For a mock draft, like Mayock apparently was like only had 7 picks right in the entire draft.
Oh,
and he's paid to do this, so I'll take that in the first 10 picks. But yeah, I really like the Buccaneers draft. Getting Mike Evans in the first, pairing him with Vincent Jackson, that is a pretty scary combination of guys. Plus, sending Austin Jenkins in the second. He's the Mackey Award winner for best tight end in the college ranks, and he's 6'5". That's yeah. Try dealing with 3 athletic 6'5" guys going down the field, and then Doug Martin, other guys coming out of the backfield. That's scary. Then they got another running back in the third, which didn't really need, but after kind of looking about Charles Sims, kind of is Matt Forte-like. I guess he's kind of like almost Doug Martin, like a little bit bigger version of him. Can catch the ball in the backfield, can block. He's a 3-down guy, so. And I know with Tedford's new offense, the new offensive coordinator, they're going to spread the ball out and go less like fullback. So 2 running backs probably be on the field a lot. So yeah, I was pretty happy with the Buccaneers draft. It was solid in my opinion.
Now I know I remember watching the Duke Texas A&M bowl game.
Yeah.
And that was like the first time you really watched Johnny Manziel, if I remember correctly.
I've watched him a little bit before that, just never like a full entire Texas A&M game.
Right. So yeah, that's what I mean. Like first time you really watched him.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I remember at that point you were like, if the Bucs can get this guy, I want him.
Yes.
Now, as the draft was unfolding and he was still available at your position, was there a piece of you that wanted him?
Not really.
No?
Well, yes and no. Because I know if we were going to go get up, I thought we'd actually go for Bridgewater if the Bucs were going to grab a quarterback.
Really?
Yeah. I think Bridgewater is probably going to be a safer pick, like less boomer bust potential.
Right, okay.
Whereas Johnny Manziel is either going to be Tim Tebow or he's going to be like Steve Young.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think like Manziel to the Browns, when they picked him up, there's no better team to go to. And then Josh Gordon got suspended.
Yeah.
And then they lost Greg Little. And then they signed Miles Austin. So they went from a potentially extremely potent offense to the Cleveland Browns.
Well, anything is better than the 38, 70-year-old sophomore quarterback that is Brandon Williams.
The backup to Tony Romo. Which, by the way, the Cowboys selecting Zach Martin in the first, after everyone's like, oh, they should get Manziel, which is crazy talk, by the way. Getting Zach Martin to protect Romo's back, or no, Tyron Smith probably left. Probably the front side. Great selection. Actually making solid selections.
Busy man over there. And that's what happens when you're an NFL guru, as you call yourself.
Yeah, apparently.
And it's funny because when the Cowboys were up and Manziel was still on the board, I think like the entire world held their breath.
Yeah, you watched ESPN, right?
I did, yeah.
NFL Network, and Mayock just going crazy, like, oh my God, here he's going.
Yeah.
And then they picked like Zach Martin, and the room just deflated. I was like,
yeah,
hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah, Adam Schefter was all on that.
Oh yeah.
I do like the Manziel fit in Cleveland.
Yeah.
And I think it's pretty. If the story is actually true, I think it's pretty crazy that he texted them and said, "Okay, come up and get me now."
Yeah, I thought that was pretty funny when I read that. The one thing that actually kind of confused me in the first round, Eric Ebron to the Lions.
They're going with the best defense is a good offense.
Apparently, but
they're gonna say you're gonna score 40 on us. We're gonna score 50 on you.
Yeah, I still think that pick.
That's the only thing that I can think about. Unless they know something about Pettigrew. I mean, I think he's like 3rd overall, and he was like had the 3rd most drops in the league last year.
Or you're gonna use like Ebron as like
as a wide receiver.
Yeah.
Okay, and we're back. We were talking about the draft with the Detroit Lions drafting Ingram or whatever his name is.
You're
I already
right.
forget. Yeah, I was right the first time. With the 9th pick, we didn't like that pick. So
10th, actually.
10th? Were they 10th?
Yeah. The Vikings were 9th.
Right, the Bills were originally 9th, and then
the Browns
they traded up, and the Browns got the 9th, and then the Vikings and the Browns flipped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, the Ebron pick, I don't know, I just didn't get it. Like, unless you're planning using, like, a Jimmy Graham / Vernon Davis type, like, outside, just like a big outside receiver. That
Maybe they are.
A little bit of blocking skills. Like if you're going to use them like Calvin Johnson one side, Ebron the other side, and they have Golden Tate in the slot, okay, I could see it. And then you just got like a really scary, like almost like a Tampa Bay thing where they just go with really tall guys and just have 4 go down the middle. Because right there's like 3 guys that are 6'5", if not 6'6", going down like the field. That's a pretty scary thought, especially with like Stafford just constantly it down to him. Now, if they could stop somebody, that'd be even better, but that's not going to happen. Especially with soon last year of his contract and fairly, like, probably not coming back. So
Detroit is just going down in flames after what looked so promising a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Any other big surprises you found in the first round?
Titans taking Taylor Lewan. That's kind of a pick they didn't really need, but it's going to solidify the line even more so for the next, 5 years at least.
Well, maybe their hope is that the only way to keep Jake Locker healthy is to keep him upright.
Yeah. Well, if you look at their line, that's especially Michael Roos, who's a little older. They're going to find someone for long to play, but their line after getting Cooper last year, Levitre, that's probably one of the top 5 lines in the league now. Mm-hmm. So that's a good pick.
And they cut the best running back they've probably had in the last 20 years.
Yeah, but they should be okay. They picked up, I think it was Carlos Hyde to take his spot. Okay. No, Bishop Sankey.
Okay.
So, he'll be fine. They'll be fine. The Raiders making the right selection was kind of confusing.
You should have heard Gruden about him, about them going after Manziel.
Oh, of course.
If it was Al Davis, Manziel would be an Oakland Raider right now.
Oh, easily.
If Al Davis was still alive.
Oh, they probably would have went up for Jadeveon Clowney. What? He's 260 pounds. He can run a 4.4. Yeah, that's straight for him.
That's true. I forgot it. But then again, that's still a good pick.
Oh, yeah, that's true. You can't really go wrong there. But okay, yeah. I guess let me go through. Greg Robinson was a solid pick for the Rams to protect Bradford. Clowney, a little confused there what they're going to do with him. I'm assuming they're going to try to make him like the Mario Williams before he left for Buffalo. Like that 3-4-4-3.
They picked up that huge defensive tackle from Notre Dame too.
Lewis Nix, yeah.
Yeah. So that's going to be a beastie front line.
I think Clowney's going to be on the. Oh, I think he's going to be outside linebacker though.
You think they're going to convert him?
I think so because he's too small to be a 3-4 or a lineman at 266. But he's a freak.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But he's super strong, which is one of the things that he's knocked for. But if he was going to be a 4th lineman, he'd be fine. But 3-4, you probably want to be a little stronger. Bortles, the Jags, probably a little early. Would have taken him. I probably would have tried to trade back. One
more thing about Clowney before we go.
Yep.
Before you continue on, I should say. He in his everyone talked about his numbers in his last year of college, but he was getting doubled, tripled, quadrupled teamed at the line. When you put him on a line with J.J. Watt and Lewis Nix and whoever else there, or even in any defense where they're running out the manhunters, they can.
Professional defense, you're not going to have triple teams.
Exactly.
Ever.
So.
Or double teams, and then you're running back going to take out his legs.
Exactly. It'd be very interesting to see what they can do, what he'll be able to do, especially he'll have super high expectations. But I mean, the guy's a freak.
Yeah, I equate him to Mario Williams. Just the guy is just freakish size. Williams, if he were to come out, is probably a better fit for the Texans. But Clowney's just much faster off the edge. Just needs to get a little bit better at pass rushing with his hands. That's it. And
wasn't the last time they picked a defensive player in the first round with the first overall pick? It was
Mario Williams.
So all coming full circle.
Yep.
We don't have to go through every single pick, just because we'd be here for 3 hours. You mentioned Bortles that they could have traded back from, and I agree. It was kind of a strange pick there, but it's a good fit I believe for Bortles, Florida kid going to Florida.
They'll probably sit him for the year, I think. I think they'll sit him, or if not, he'll start late. I don't think he'll start the season.
As soon as the Texans drafted Clowney, I thought every single team in the AFC South should draft an offensive lineman.
Yeah. That didn't happen, but...
No, it didn't.
I think the Vikings picking up C.J. Mosley.
Okay.
It's a good pick. Him and Arthur Brown would be really good together. I was a little confused about the Steelers picking up Ryan Shazier. Outside linebacker from Ohio State. He's more of a 4-3 linebacker, very fast. He's not as big as what you'd hope. He's a jack. He's quick, but not usually the Steelers' prototypical kind of linebacker they take.
But they just need to get anybody right now.
Yeah, younger.
They just need to get younger.
The Jets taking a safety over a corner confused me. The Dolphins going Juwan James, not bad if it's the second round, but D Ford to the Chiefs didn't make sense to me. The Chiefs' defense is fine, so you take an undersized defensive end that you're going to put at linebacker when you already have two of the best pass rushers in the league. Didn't make sense to me. Also,
Andy Reid, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Eagles taking Marcus Smith. I didn't even know who the hell Marcus Smith was when he was taken. The Patriots passing on Hagman and the other defensive tackle. Its name just slipping from Florida State. Jernigan. To go Dominic Easley. Good pick, but you just gotta hope that he's coming back from his injury. If he doesn't, that's a waste of a first round pick.
You have to think the Patriots know something.
Oh, probably. If not, they have. The defensive tackles are getting old, so they better hope they know something.
Right.
And then the Vikings getting Bridgewater at 32. Good on them.
Yeah.
That's probably one of the steals of the draft right there.
No, I agree. It was very good for the Vikings to trade back in. When they didn't go with a quarterback with their first pick, I was kind of surprised.
Yeah.
Especially with Manziel on the board. I kind of thought they might, go after him. But funny thing, Bridgewater grew up in Florida. I think I was reading he hasn't played a game in below 0 temperatures. So welcome to Minnesota.
Oh, they're in a dome.
No, they're not. Remember, the Metrodome's down now.
Oh,
the new stadium. For the first 2 years.
2 years from now.
For the first 2 years, they're
University of Minnesota.
They're playing outdoors. Yeah. So.
Oh boy.
Welcome to Minnesota, Teddy.
Oh boy. It's almost worse than Buffalo.
Well, no, it is worse than Buffalo, temperature-wise. Much worse. Much worse.
Yeah.
Except there's no... I guess the difference is there's no wind. There's not as much wind, so...
That's not bad, man. It's cold, but...
It's going to be very cold. So good luck, Teddy, there. We're going to move on from the NFL draft to the NBA playoffs now, as both conference finals are set to begin. I believe it's the Eastern Conference Finals today and the Western Conference Finals tomorrow.
I believe so.
And it was the matchup we all expected in the East.
I think I picked both of these teams to be so far. I think I'm perfect with my selections. If we go back to the podcast.
Right. Okay. Yeah. If you go back to that, I picked the Bulls, and I did not see them getting steamrolled by Washington like they did.
Oh.
It's just. With this matchup, it's just kind of I feel like it's not going to live up to the expectations that last year made it, because the Pacers are, despite knocking off Washington, who put up a really good fight, Indiana still doesn't look very good.
The thing is, they're getting by the skin of their teeth, but the thing is, they're getting by.
That's true. They are getting by.
They've gone through adversity, so this is the match that they wanted. So. Do I think they're going to win the series? No. Do I think they'll push it to game 6 or 7? Yeah.
Well, if I'm Miami, much like Washington, I don't want to push it to a game. If I can have the option, I want to finish it off in game 6.
Oh yeah. If you go 7 the Pacers back to Indiana, ooh.
That's a tough game.
I still think the Heat win, but that's a coin flip.
And the good thing about the Heat have been able to. They've only played 9 games in the last month.
Yeah.
So
they're rested.
So
as much as they can be.
Exactly. Wade is rested, and that's a huge thing for them. LeBron can actually take some time off of it from
being
take the team off his back and rest it for a bit. And their old guys can actually get a bit of a
Bosch
breather.
should be stepping up, yeah.
And that's the thing. Bosch is going
Ray
to
Allen,
need to play well, yeah.
Ray Allen's been hitting some clutch shots, so I think Miami still takes it. Like, I still see him, like, nothing changed from what I thought from the beginning of the season to what I said in the podcast. I still think that Miami's there in the end.
Oh, yeah, I completely agree with you. A big key matchup is going to be Bosch and Hibbert for sure. Because if Bosch can get Hibbert away from the basket, then that opens up the lane for LeBron.
Yeah, but I think this is where Hibbert finally steps up and starts getting back to defensive, like, player of the year beast. Because against Bosch, he can manhandle Bosch.
No, yeah, he can. But if he gets pulled outside,
then that's game over.
Because Bosch's ability to shoot, if the Heat play their I guess their shooting lineup is what you'd say with a LeBron at the 4.
Yeah. And
you have everybody on the wing, everybody outside. Let LeBron get into the middle, and then you'll have like Chalmers. Norris Cole. You could have
Allen.
Ray Allen. You could have Shane Battier. You could have corner threes.
Yeah,
you could have
really anyone off the bench.
I mean, Wade is not the best 3-point shooter, but he can make the outside jump shot.
Yeah.
Like a 20 whatever, like a mid-range jump shot. So I think that's going to be a huge matchup for them. If they can get Hibbert away from the key, it's going to open up LeBron to get into the paint and create for sure.
Oh, agreed. Do you think the Pacers have any chance to win this though? Honestly.
Yeah, I do.
Like, what would you put it percentage-wise?
23.
Michael Jordan reference. I like it, but yeah.
Oh, I didn't want to say 25. It's just because when you break it down, there's going to be a game that LeBron just goes off and dominates.
Yeah.
And that they could win. That the Heat win.
I think the Pacers only win this if they just grind them.
And that's the thing.
They just have to grind, just wear them down.
And that's what the Pacers have done so well against the Heat. They've been able to grind them down. They've got multiple guys they can throw out LeBron. That are like the Heat, the Nets tried to do it, but Paul Pierce can't keep up. Joe Johnson can't keep up. With the Pacers, Paul George is young and athletic.
Yeah.
Lance Stevenson's athletic and young.
Yeah.
And if you play LeBron at the 4, David West will just beat him up.
Yeah.
So if the Pacers are going to have to grind this series, like you said, they still. I'm not saying they're out of it. They're going to win games, but they're definitely going to have to steal one in Miami.
Yeah, they're going to have to. If they can steal game 1, that bodes well for the rest of them, possibly.
Well, no, they're at home. They're at home.
No, I mean like game 1 in Miami. So game 3.
Oh, game 3. Okay, I see what you're saying. Sorry, you just said it in a weird way.
Sorry.
I was kind of confused. No, I agree. I agree with you that they're going to need one game. I know it sounds obvious because just percentage-wise, but the Heat are going to take a game in Indiana for sure.
Yeah. Probably
so maybe game 1.
I think they'll win game 2. I think they split at home. Both of them, they'll both win at home.
Okay.
And then I think the Heat will probably take the next 2 and just finish the series on 6. But if it does go 7, that's where Miami is. It's a coin flip. I know it's really coin flip, but
if you're going to put me in a winner-takes-all game, I'm going to take the team with LeBron James.
Of course.
So, even if it's in Indiana, I would still ride with LeBron in that.
Yeah.
And that's just for you, Rob Perez. Going to the West now, we saw some questionable officiating, to say the least, in the Oklahoma City Los Angeles Clippers series. So it's LA against the Spurs. You called the Spurs, and I'm a victim of the Spurs, and I'm just waiting for them to fail.
They just lull you to sleep.
No, it's not even that. It's just they've been doing it for so long that, reasonably speaking, one of these times they're going to slip up. And they've got to start to show their age sometime, right?
You would think so.
Yeah, exactly, right? So that's why, every year, I'm always like, okay, this is the year that the Spurs fall behind. It's got to be this year. It has to be, then it's not. And then I look like an idiot for picking Portland at 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah. Not a good choice.
No, definitely. Oh yeah, and I'll own up to that. Like that looks really stupid now.
Well, in like honestly, like yeah, you could go Portland, but they just got beat by a better team.
No, yeah, I'm not taking anything away from the Spurs at all. If anything, I'm giving credit to the Spurs for constantly beating back people who are saying, "Oh, they're done." Well, they're not. They're clearly still there. That being said, I still think Oklahoma City's going to win.
Well, I can't wait for them to prove you wrong again, sir. I still San Antonio.
I had Oklahoma City going to the finals from the beginning of this podcast, from our first NBA playoff preview podcast. So I'm sticking with them. The way that the team has responded to Kevin Durant's speech, his MVP speech was fascinating. They just seem to be more cohesive now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, as long as Westbrook isn't taking crazy shots, like they always have a chance to win.
And see, the thing is, they need Westbrook to do that, though. Because there are games that Durant, like we've seen it so far this playoffs. There's games that Durant just loses his touch.
Yeah,
and Westbrook was the only reason. And Westbrook taking those quote unquote crazy shots was the only reason they stayed in games. Like if they don't have Westbrook playing like he was playing, LA's in the Western Conference Final right now.
Yeah,
for sure, no doubt. They were able to weather the storm because of Westbrook with his ability to take over.
I don't know. I still think. Sorry, I'll just finish.
No, continue. Go.
I just think that. Don't get me wrong. I respect everything that Durant and like Westbrook and the guys in OKC can do. I just think in the end it's gonna be the San Antonio Spurs there again, like always.
And
they're just too good of a team.
The thing is, I want to say Oklahoma City. Like I'm saying Oklahoma City, but it's going to be very tough without Ibaka. If
you
he's
think have the 7-game series, or do you think?
Well, I think if Oklahoma City wins, it'll be 7 games.
Yeah.
Yeah, because of the no Ibaka, they just lost a big guy to guard Duncan.
Yeah.
They lost a guy to bang with Duncan down low. So it's going to be tough for Oklahoma City without Ibaka, because that's their big three essentially: Westbrook, Durant, and Ibaka.
Yeah.
And the Spurs just play so cohesively as a team that now that the Thunder's rotations are going to be messed up defensively, that could be tough.
No, I agree. I think Duncan pretty much takes over this entire series and just blows it out of the water.
Yeah, you think this is going to be a Duncan show?
I think it is.
Okay.
Him and Parker are going to go off.
Well, I think it's not going to be Parker because I think Westbrook is going to be able to lock him down.
I mean, like, there's even one game where he just goes off and takes over.
Okay, then
like, not even like points, but just like dishing the ball, just like it's his game. Like whatever he does, it's just gold.
Okay, so then you give each. So it's a best of 3 series then, because there's going to be a game where Durant takes over. There's going to be a game where Westbrook takes over. There's going to be a game where Parker takes over, and there's going to be a game when Duncan takes over.
Yes.
So so by that logic, you're guaranteed to go 2-2, unless that game that Durant took over was going to be Game 7, but they only get to Game 5.
Yeah.
So I'm not knocking your pick, but you're going with the Spurs in
6.
6, okay. I'm sticking OKC. I'm going OKC in 7. There's just something about Durant this year that it's different.
MVP will do that for you.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I think he has more of a killer instinct this year. So, speaking of killer instincts, we'll shift gears, and it seems that nobody in Major League Baseball has a killer instinct right now. I mean, we're only
pulling away really, except for Detroit.
Exactly. We're only like 40. We're just like 40 plus games into the season.
I think we're close to 50-ish.
40. Blue Jays have played 44 games.
Okay. Yeah.
So right in the middle there. The only team with a division lead of
5 or more.
5 or more is Detroit with 6.5.
Yeah.
And Kansas City's sticking around.
And I was wrong about Cleveland, as they're 9 games back already.
That's true, you were.
But still only 40 games in. I'll have faith.
Exactly. I mean, it's not like they've lost 3 in a row. Oh wait, they have.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Thanks, Brett.
No problem. Just keeping
They're
it.
not really my team, but.
Oh, I know. It's your pick, though.
Yeah.
So in our neck of the woods, the Blue Jays are looking. I want to say surprising.
They're not looking as terrible as we thought they'd be.
No, they're not. And can we chalk that up to the offense and health?
You have to, because the pitching hasn't been very good.
No, other than Mark Burley.
Oh yeah, Mark Burley, or Cy Burley as we're calling him now.
Well, you're calling him that now.
I'm going to call him that.
You're calling him that now. What is it? Just what? Why is all I can really go off right now? Why is this happening?
Why the Jays are winning? Why they're still in the
honestly, why they're in the chase? Because teams that you thought would be running away, like maybe the Yankees or even Boston, who's kind of falling into the form that they thought they were going to take last year. I mean,
it's the offense. The offense is just putting them on it's a typical Jays team. The offense is just carrying this team, and the pitching is just muddling around. Usually you have a dominant bullpen. We don't even have that this year, and yet we're still. I was reading something on ESPN. If you look at the percentages of who we played next and how we've done so far, the Jays are likely to win this division according to ESPN at 40%.
Oh, that POFF stat or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's crazy to think of. The Jays, with their terrible bullpen and their terrible starting pitching, are still likely to win. That is that's mind-boggling.
So, where do you think the Jays place in batting average in the American League?
Batting average?
Yes. Don't look.
I'm not actually.
Okay, I'm just saying don't look. I'm just saying.
Top 7?
You had to guess. They were 7th.
They are actually 7th?
They're 7th. Runs scored.
Runs
scored? Where do you think they are?
Top 5.
They're a 3rd, 213.
I know home runs, if that was you're going next, they're 2nd.
They're 1st now.
Oh, are they?
They have 57 home runs. Oakland they're 2nd in the AL at least. I'm just saying AL stats.
Oh, okay, yeah.
They are 57th. They're 57. 9 ahead of Oakland.
That's so ridiculous.
And hits, they have 381. Good for 3rd in the league as well.
So the offense is carrying them.
For sure.
That's why I'm getting rid of JP Arancibia. Mr. 192 average.
And then when you go the other way, their team ERA, 11th. Let's see what else is there. Saves, I guess that really doesn't really matter.
No.
But saves, they are tied for 4th. Home runs allowed, they're only 12th.
Really? So pitching hasn't been as bad as it's looked?
Opponent's batting average they're 11th, and whip they are 14th.
Wait, is this for the AL or the entire league?
AL.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, they're 1.45 walks and hits per inning.
Oh,
just above the Chicago White Sox.
Oh, playing down the road of the show is painful.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Oh God, I just played 2 games with them. It was my 2 games I got called up. Sorry, a little off topic.
No, it's on topic.
They gave up
We're talking about
31 runs in 2 games. 31 runs! How is that possible?
Well, they're just a bad team.
Oh,
and you're not a pitcher, so it's not like you can do anything.
Yeah. God.
So you just have to score 32 in 2 games.
And
come on, Sean, get on that.
I'm hitting 400. What do you want me to do? I just got called up.
Hit 500.
All home runs.
Yeah, exactly. That's what you're going to have to do. HGH up.
Well played, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So you don't want to get too caught up in early season stats because they've only played a quarter of the season.
Yep.
So what are the legitimate chances the Jays can make a run to the post, to even to getting a wild card spot?
Still not good. They just don't have the pitching.
Mm-hmm. Because law of averages, right? The pitching's going to either catch up, and then the offense is going to come down.
Yeah. You got to think that, but it's the Jays. And injuries are going to just destroy their bullpen or destroy their starters. You got to look Dickey. He could either be fantastic one day or get blown out.
It depends if the roof's open.
Yeah. Justin McGowan.
You never know. Exactly.
Yeah. Hap.
Same thing. You never know.
Exactly.
The only consistent pitcher has been Burley.
Exactly. Like, who's even their fifth starter at this point? Stroman?
Burley, Dickey. I think they put McGowan back to the pen. You got Hutchinson.
Yeah.
Hutchinson's been all right.
Yeah, never mind. Hutchinson's been lights out too.
Yeah.
Well, as lights out as like a young pitcher can be. So
he's been adequate.
Oh no, he's doing pretty well.
No, but see, adequate in the terms of this Blue Jay team is a very high compliment. That's high praise.
Yeah, I guess so.
High praise.
And the bullpen's been, as soon as Jansen came back, it's been a lot better.
Well, as soon as Jansen came back and Santos left.
Left in closing, yeah.
Sorry.
Also, why is Kevin Pillar on a starting roster?
Rasmus is on the DL.
Get anyone else but Kevin Pillar.
I think we know. We called up Ghost. Ghost is in center field.
I know. Just why is Kevin Pillar on any starting roster or any MLB roster? Is it effective?
Talk to Gibby about that.
John Gibbons.
Exactly. On that note, I think we're gonna, since we're just kind of bumbling now, we're gonna go to our high fives and face palms. You have 2 high fives this time, right?
I do.
Okay, so I'm gonna lead to make sure we end on a high note.
Alrighty.
But I'm gonna stick with the Blue Jays. You kind of brought it up before.
Yeah.
My face palm is going to JP Arencibia. Just making some comments. Toronto is playing Texas for the first time. They're down in Texas, so a Toronto Star reporter caught up to him and actually was the only only Toronto reporter to get an interview with him. And JP says he was cast as a villain by the media, saying that they kind of took his words out of context or just made up quotes. One of which was something that he said he had problems with Dirk Hayhurst and Greg Zahn. But the original interview with that came from him in a radio interview on the MLB Network. So, I don't know, JP, your story is not lining up. And any decent journalist would figure out that, maybe you're not being 100% honest with yourself. I mean, you're hitting under 200 last year. I think you were the worst offensive catcher and the worst defensive catcher in the league. So you're lucky you're on a major league roster at this point, in my opinion.
Yeah, you're lucky you're back up in Texas.
He's splitting games right now because Soto's hurt. It'll be interesting to see what happens to him once Soto comes back. But I don't know, JP. You had a chance here in Toronto. The fans loved you. We loved you. We wanted you to be the guy. We really did. But
you just weren't.
Whatever happened, your average dipped. I don't know if it was concentration or you thought too much of yourself. I don't know. But your play just declined to a point where we couldn't have you on the team. And you were a great person. You just sucked. So facepalm, JP Arencibia blaming the media for casting him as a villain when your villain was your on-base percentage.
Ouch.
My high five is to the New Orleans Saints, going out on somewhat of a high note here for me. They signed safety Devon Walker, former Tulane safety. Why that just might kind of sound like an undrafted free agent type of thing. It's a really nice story. He was paralyzed from, I believe it was the neck down.
Yeah.
During a game against Tulsa. His dream was to play for the Saints, so they signed him to a contract for rookie camp. So, good job. I always like when teams do that because these kids, not all of them can make it. And when a circumstance like that derails the chances, not just like your own talent or when it gets taken away from you where you can't control it, it's nice to see teams do stuff like this. So, And the Saints have been a great team for the community, so I think it's a very nice gesture by the Saints to step up for this kid and give him make his dream come true. So, high five to the Saints. That's my high five.
Oh,
That's
fantastic.
a high five.
I appreciate it. That was good.
We should try to add sound effects.
Yeah, please add sound effects to that, because that was kind of a weak clap. I was like, what's that sound going on? It just sounds like a rubber band.
Well, I'm only one person in a hollow room here, so.
Alright, my 2 high fives for the week are actually, one's a little off topic for what we usually talk about, and it's California Chrome winning the Belmont.
Before you say that, I believe my high five right after he won the Kentucky Derby he was my high five, so continue.
Well, that's the thing, it's a little off topic. Usually we don't talk about horse racing.
Well, we did, like a couple podcasts ago.
I know, I'm just saying it's a little weird that we have talked about it multiple times.
Well, this is a special circumstance.
Well, now you're just ruining this.
This is a special...
I didn't want to say this.
No, you should say it. It's a special circumstance.
Well, now he's won 2 legs of the Triple Crown, and are you going to interrupt me again, or?
No.
Alright, now we're just going to congratulations to California Chrome. Hopefully he can win the Belmont. No, what is it?
Preakness.
Thank you.
Well, so now you're happy I interrupted you.
Yeah, now I am. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Okay.
Hopefully he can win the Preakness and win the Triple Crown. Be the first one since 1960 something.
I don't know, but at least it makes the Preakness interesting.
Exactly. And then my other high five, since I do know a little bit more about this one, is Timo Solani and the standing ovation he got at the end of the Anaheim Ducks and the Los Angeles Kings series in the playoffs. Just great reception for one of the best players that's ever played.
Best Finnish player, one of the best Finnish.
Easily best.
Top 2 Finnish.
I think it's best.
Okay, Jari Kurri?
I'd say Timo, just because I grew up with Timo Solani. He was my favorite player when I was younger. So.
Okay, no, that's fine. I'm just throwing another name out there before we say best. Before we say best Finnish.
Okay, top 2 then. Top 2.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure, definitely. I'm just throwing another. Just creating debate.
Yeah, throwing it out there.
Yeah.
So yeah. Cheers to the crowd was going crazy after the game, especially after this loss, a hard fought series. Just to give Timo Solani his incredible props for an incredible career. So, congrats to you, Timo.
Yeah, what was really nice about that was that it was a very split crowd because it was Anaheim, Los Angeles.
Yeah,
so it was
down
a
the road from each other.
Very split crowd and very good ovation from both fans. So.
Yeah.
Is that it? Or is that I don't mean to sound negative, but we good? We cover everything?
Good to the Buccaneers for having a good draft, and the Bills.
Yeah, so we're happy campers with drafts right now. So thank you for listening to the silver anniversary of the podcast. Other than that, nothing special. I don't really know how to wrap this up. We did a good job, I think. What do you think?
You could sing.
No, I'm not going to sing.
Well, then I don't know how to.
Why don't you sing? To talk about singing, you should sing.
I have a terrible singing voice.
Well, so do I. Why do you want me to embarrass myself then? How rude of you. Sean is at Sean_McD2 on Twitter. I am at SmithBR10. We are at Sports by Schmucks. Our blog's website, sportsbyschmucks.blogspot.ca. I don't know what Sean's will be working on next because the NFL season's pretty much done.
I'll probably start writing about individual teams and what my predictions for them this season are coming up are.
Already? It's only May.
I said starting slowly.
Okay, so that means we should expect them in September.
June.
Oh, June. Okay. Yeah. So good work. Continue on with that, Sean. Good work.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening. That's the end. Get out of here, you jerks. I'm kidding. Have a good day.